Welcome back. As long as the internet has existed, so too has the ubiquitous scammer. Everyone's well aware these days of the dangers of targeted scam emails. Most people get a bunch of scam phone calls every day, much less emails. Before the invention of the cybersecurity term phishing, everyone was well aware of the Nigerian prince spam that was going around too. We just didn't have a term for it. But make no mistake, regardless of the level of technology involved, some of the earliest writings we have found by humans are complaints about being sold what you or I might term snake oil in a goods exchange. As always, I'm Miguel Vasquez for Brave New Coin, and I'm back today to examine some of the scams that have reskinned themselves for crypto, DeFi, and Web 3.0. Many are old scams that have been repurposed for action in the new crypto environment, and they can be tricky to spot unless we know what to look for. And given the level of low or no regulation that's inherent to the crypto sphere, it can be impossible many times to get help after you've been scammed. So we'll start with a couple older scams that have been repurposed, and we'll discuss principles of action to help everybody not get scammed out there. The first type of scam that we'll take a look at today is this Tinder romance con. And if you go ahead and Google it, you'll find on Google, of course, it says it was created in 2016, but it's referred to the in crowd as the pig butchering scam, or the Chinese characters for kill, pig, and plate. But it's also incredibly similar to military romance scams that were perpetrated by email or snail mail before that. This is just flip the script and ginger bent it somewhat. And how it works is you match with someone who's like incredibly attractive on Tinder, and they could even be verified too. And this person starts to have a lot of interest in you. They get you on WhatsApp or Telegram. You're getting the good morning texts. They're sending you pictures of their breakfast, really building that rapport. And oh, guess what? They're even big into crypto too. Like maybe their uncle is like a big investor, or one of their friends has, this platform, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're giving this 2-for-1 airdrop thing, so why don't you just send over some BTC or ETH, and you just got socially engineered into losing those assets. But you still might not even be aware of it yet. So I'll go ahead and link a video that goes really in depth about how they still fatten you up after this point. But we did have a user, John, who wrote into Brave New Coin with his experience here. He says,
"She claimed to be from Qingdao in China, but her number came up as being in Bangkok, which is Thailand, obviously. Her WhatsApp number was supposedly Chinese, but I know that WhatsApp doesn't work in China. She poses as the daughter of a rich vineyard owner, and she sends you all these pictures of her flashy lifestyle. Then after a while, she started talking about GHB coin and how great it was, and she kept asking me to register on this website where she says she was earning like around 10k a day just trading this GHB coin. But I checked it out. GHB coin website doesn't provide any company reg details, and there's no mention of a team behind the project, and no physical address or anything like that. So I think it was the only reason it's there is to accept deposits from people like me."
websites like the ones that John describes are also used in the baseline crypto scam, which is that giveaway, hey, send one, we'll send two back. You'll see it all the time in YouTube comments. Sometimes you'll see it on Twitter too. And because we're on this kind of trusted platform, sometimes when you're on YouTube, you'll see, oh, this is actually really a talk that this guy gave. It's just that account that it's promoting, or the event that it's promoting, is a scam, right? So it's a real account, just pirated and made for a scam. On Twitter, they'll use these hacked accounts. So they have that check mark there, and it's just back to being socially engineered, just like the Tinder thing, where, hey, I've placed my trust in the platform and it's failed. So now I'm kind of, at exposure to getting socially engineered. The FBI has a webpage dedicated specifically to these types of scams because the romance scam thing has been gaining traction for some years now. The internet, especially since 2006 with the adoption of the iPhone, and it put the internet in everybody's pocket, put a lot of unsuspecting victims in its path. So first off, they advise here, if you suspect you're a victim of a scam or have been scammed, immediately stop all contact and file a complaint with the FBI's IC3 division. If you've been scammed, you're unlikely to get any money back, but You might help bust a crime ring. Unfortunately, they're usually outside of the US, so that's the reason why you're probably not getting any money back. Some red flags for scammer behavior are an inability to meet in person and the need of account numbers to transfer money. Of course, the crypto environment itself aligns with both of these, so it can make it very hard, given an exciting situation and the intoxicating allure of new love, to separate fact from fiction. So keep your wits about you out there. The FBI's IC3 received over 1,800 types of these complaints for this online scam in the 6 months that started 2021, resulting in losses of over $133 million. So they advise here in this PSA in fall of 2021, if an online investment or trading site is promoting unbelievable profits, it's most likely unbelievable. Tread with caution. If you're located outside of the US, or maybe for some reason you just don't feel comfortable contacting the FBI, another good website is globalantiscam.org. Now, they're a little bit newer, and so they have a little bit less in terms of actionable information, more in terms of helping people get refunds. So we'll go over some of the more salient points on how to not get scammed and ways to steelman your presence from the FBI page. Be careful what you post and make public online. Scammers will use details that you've shared on social media and dating sites to better understand and target you. What they'll do is, I'm sure everybody understands the term catfishing these days, but they'll go out and catfish and use somebody's photo that's been used a bunch, probably a model. They'll use the excitement of this new romance to get you into a place where you're going to make a whole bunch of decisions that are in poor judgment. So what you need to do is you need to go slowly and ask a lot of questions. You need to be not afraid to use reverse image search on the internet, which will include some links to those below. If they try and get you off platform, that's also a big red flag, because it seems like everybody's trying to get me to their Telegram these days. And then once we're on Telegram, there's not a whole lot of rules, right? Once I'm off of a platform that has some sort of heavy-handed oversight or moderation, that person's going to start requesting things that can be used to extort me, like nudes, right? Which is, that needs to be another red flag. If there are things that you're doing for this individual and they're never doing or being what they said they would, or doing what they said they would, you need to let that raise your hackles a little bit as well. And the FBI says right here at the bottom, never send money to anyone you only communicated with online or by phone. The last scam that we're going to talk about is the seemingly everywhere cloud mining scam. And I say that, and some might be going, well, I've not seen that. And it's not the newest scam, but it does tend to congregate around places where the KYC is a little lacking. So crypto betting, when faucets were a thing, kind of those kinds of realms. One of the newer sites doing this that Brave New Coin identified last month is called starminer.com. Pretty bog standard cloud mining scam. It's intended to look pretty sleek and flashy. Few spelling and grammar errors though, so keep an eye out. That's kind of but we'll go over some more tips in a second. In the Brave New Coin article, they give a bit of an overview to the typical playbook that these nefarious types use, since you or I typically only see the other side of that equation, the clickbait ad after it's placed, the spam Twitter comment, or if you've gotten some personal attention like the romance scam, maybe you were directed to the site personally, right? They'll target an influencer and get them to make a video for some amount of their token, and after the influencer makes a video that shills the site, they end up not being able to cash out. But when they reach out to advertisers or publishers with space to sell, they're actually looking for an outlet that will put their story or ad up without verifying the legitimate nature of the company that's looking to advertise, and they'll pay double to take the sponsored Chiron off the top of the story or the ad that they're running. When you rebuff these types, they get angry, especially if they've invested some time into you. A similar scam called Hashbiter reached out to Brave New Coin last year, and when Brave New Coin responded, "Site seems like a scam." The anonymous writer said, "If you expose us on your website, I will sue you." When asked in what jurisdiction they'd be bringing charges, they responded, "Please help us put a press release on your website and I'll give you money. I'm not going to press charges." Brave New Coin began investigating these types of cloud mining scams in March 2021 when people claiming to be from companies called Xminer and Miner Plus asked to run a sponsored article about their cloud mining quote-unquote services. Over the course of that investigation, we found that cloud mining scams such as Hashbiter, Xminer, Miner Plus, PageMiner, InHash, MuxMiner, USD Miner, and now Star Miner all exhibit some combination of these following red flags. First off, their locations don't exist. Now, Star Miner is better than the usual suspect in this regard. They've linked their purported address to some sort of business park or industrial estate, and if they've been there since 2016, they certainly weren't there in 2018 when the Google Street View says that there was a Unirose in the unit that they purport to have been doing their business out of. Another thing that you'll see is maybe they've got like a UK address, maybe they've got some sort of even like a charter, something that looks really official, but it's not theirs, it's been stolen. And but we're doing business really in this really cold environment, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, because people think that, these things are hot, so they have to stay real cold. Another lightning fast way to tell, especially in the age of reverse image search, is their staff and customers don't exist. And this one goes hand in hand with, I did a who is on their website, and their website is about 2 months old, but they're claiming more registered users than the state of California and almost as many countries as are on the entire face of the earth, right? So what we can do really quickly is we'll go take a look at their reviews, and if the reviews are real obviously fake, if the staff looks like they've been taken from clip art, or, you refresh the page a couple of times, sometimes the names and faces swap around. That's a really easy way to tell too, because it's like they just have a database of images that they're pushing underneath these random words, and no legitimate company is doing that. So now that we know a little bit more about what red flags to keep an eye out for, we can tune our own personal risk levels to whatever the situation might require. The internet has become a massive part of the public sphere in the blink of an eye. So even for those of us who spend a large majority of our time here, it can be very easy to lapse into familiar habits from IRL or AFK life that can be disastrous when we mix them with online dating or DeFi speculation. At the same time, I really don't want to advocate turtling up or going to ground and not engaging with anything. Go west. It's a brave new internet with such people and bots in it. Go find romance or fortune or whatever. Just don't trust people quite as fast as you might in a real world face-to-face interaction. But I'll be back soon to cover other hazards in the crypto space, and in the meantime, y'all stay safe out there.